Hey, buenos dias or buenas noches, depends where you are, I guess, what time it is. Welcome to the shop. I want to share some stuff with you. I'm using this for the first time. I don't read no manual or nothing. That's kind of how I roll. But I figured I have this guys here that have been in my toolbox for like over 20 years. This guy, let me get a piece of paper here. You can see it better maybe. It has some gouges, so it's being reduced by almost 1/4 of an inch. Was sticking off before with the grinder, and obviously the angles are not right. So this is the most challenging one to bring up to speed. This guy's here, I don't think they have. They just need some love. Yeah, this guy's got a huge double bevel, so that's gonna have to be fixed. But anyways, I'm not sure how good this machine is. It's sucking up water like it's no tomorrow because the stone is new. And if you're buying chisels and you want to buy a whole set like I did, I want to let you in a little secret. You can tell almost by the color and the handles. This one is lighter, that's lighter, and that one. Which means that those are really the ones I use. I have used this too, and I love this guy. Now, he's very sharp, and you can do most things without a mallet. You can just push it with your hands. He's very aggressive and very accurate. But anyways, let's see how this works. Put a bit more water here. Just keep sucking it up. Probably have to go get more. I think it's that way. And I probably have to buy some new attachments, but right now we're gonna try this. Anyway, so what I'm trying to do is get this thing that I got going here to reach here and reach that end. Then I would check for flatness, which I believe it is flat, but we'll find out. And if all that works out, then we're gonna repolish this, give it a secondary bevel, stroke it, and it should be able to shave. But I'm not gonna bore you with however long it takes to do this. I'll catch up with you when I get closer. Hey, it's Officer Juan here, reporting from the sharpening command. I'm getting close. As a bit of a review for this thing, this is a Maximum from Canadian Tire. You can, when they go on sale, you can buy them for about $150, or otherwise at like $300 compared to the real Torm something. This is a piece of crap. So does this holder. When you turn it on, it sounds like a fish tank. When I use it, it sounds like Michael Jackson is gonna start singing Thriller. And but I wanted to, just in case if you saw me doing this and you wonder why don't you just stay in the center and get it done quicker. The reason why is because it will create a groove on the wheel, and then you ain't sharpening nothing ever again unless you get it flat. This wheel needs to stay flat at all times. Hence you don't just lean on and stay there, you just run. back and forth like fish tank. So as I run it, I'm putting pressure once it engages, holding the pressure and letting go towards the end. Otherwise you'll round the wheel and cut this improperly. Anyways, I'll be back once this is all silver. So I'm kind of getting there, and she's trying to make a mess and ruin my floor. Not her, I mean her. So I'm guessing that the wheel is putting a bit of the round shape. And next I think I have to keep going until, yeah, this is, I don't know if you can see that. Try to move it around. But it's gonna be a while. Seems like I'm taking more from the ends than the center, so we'll be back. Well, I got me some coffee. I don't trust this machine putting a flat square edge, so I'm gonna go with this is a diamond sharpening. You can't call it a stone because it's metal, it's perfectly flat. It's made by Trend, and it comes with 300 grit in one side and 1000 for your finishing in the other. These things last forever if you don't let them rust. They only require a little bit of soap and water when you're using it. I guess you can ask me what this is, so let's go through it. This is from Lee Valley here in Canada, and it's a kit. It comes with, this guy is for chisels, has a brass flat wheel, and put it down there for a second. And this one is wide and flat for your plane blades, and the brass wheel has a slight curve to it. They also give you a flat wheel because that's a choice, but most people prefer to put a bit of an edge onto the blade. I can't remember what it's for because, you know, I'm just getting old. But and this video is not about that. It's about getting this almost 30-year-old chisel up and going. And the reason I'm doing this, because, you know, I do have really nice chisels. The reason I'm doing this is, first of all, is so I learn. Because if this is the worst chisel I've ever seen, this has been used in construction for many years. They have huge gouges to the point that I have to remove 1/4 of an inch. And so if I can bring this to life, it means I know everything there is to know how to sharpen those ones properly. So it's a personal challenge first, and second of all, this is probably made in the US. It's not Chinesium, I'll tell you that much, and it's probably really good steel. So I would like to revive it and make it part of the family. So this Lee Valley thing, and you can find it at leevalley.com. You probably want a link, but I said if you can't type, then you have no hands, which means you won't be sharpening anything. So leevalley.com it is. And how this works is you get this gauge. This attaches to either one. You slide your chisel by loosening this guy. It fits in there, which means that opens up to any size chisel. The gauge has high angles. I don't know if there are reflections on this or no. It has high angle marking standard and back bevels, and it has indexes where it will lock into, so you loosen up this guy here and slide it to where you want it to be and tie it up. So this is already in here, but basically what that does is it puts a stop in the right place. You slide this in here, and then you will slide your chisel in. You will tie it, obviously, and you slide your chisel in until it touches that. That's will give you that angle against this wheel. So once you have that set up and this guy is tight, this is to make sure that you're making it square to the wheel. So once you have it there, you will loosen this guy up, take it away, and you will put this here and choose you can see it's already starting to make a perfect square. It's gonna take a bunch, but when I said don't let this rust, this because you have to use some kind of lubricant, and a bit of soap and water works perfect. But other than that, when you're done with it, you should dry it up really nicely. Haven't done this in a while, so and I don't know how much this guy's gonna take, but normally if you have a chisel that you've been using, this is very fast. By now we'll probably have already a burr, and you can clean that up from the other side, drop it, and you'll be in your way. It really takes, once you have the proper angle and a sharp chisel that has become unsharp, it should take you like 30 to 40 seconds to bring it back to where it's supposed to be. This particular one is going to be a bit of a challenge. So I don't know if you can see this, but this has now two different angles, which I don't care, because I just want an angle that gives me a square edge and that is sharp. This part I don't care. This part needs to be flat, which it is. I checked it. So let's get a bit more coffee. And if you're using a water stone, I would say only push backwards, back. With a diamond stone, you can go both ways. At least I do it. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. the difference between the two is like if you run the blade this way on a stone, you will carve the stone technically, and you will make a huge groove and you'll never get a square edge. You cannot carve this guy because it's metal with diamond, so that makes it okay to go both ways. I feel somewhat of a burr, but I doubt it's all the way across. And I doubt it's square too, but this is not a fair measurement because I can see a bit of a burr that should be cleaned up. But I'm just going to do a bit more just to make sure I have a square edge all the way across. Seems like I don't have it in this end. That may be there, but it's not here. So let's give it a bit more. The proper way to do this is to give it a secondary bevel on the sharpening stage. I'm not going to do that because I'm just trying to bring this up to speed. If I get it there, then I can always put a secondary bevel when I sharpen the next time. When I sharpen, I should say. Every twice in a while I pronounce stuff properly. Other times I don't. Anyways, this keep exploring this machine we were playing with. Let's try to remove some of that burr. Actually, I think just to make it easier on the stropping part. Should have done this while I still had it on the try to feel the angle there, but I should have done this while it was still on the Levi Veritas guide. So, let's try this guy now. Not going to hit anything. It should be turning that way. Let's put some of this stuff on. It's going to probably use the whole thing. comes good enough. This is the thing about shooting videos. You try to move forward and then you miss stuff. Technically, I should turn this around and use a guide like I did here on this side and blah blah blah. But we're just gonna go by. It's looking good. Whether it's gonna cut anything or not. I think it would be a bit stupid and ambitious to try to cut paper with it, but oh well, let's give it a shot. Whoa. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised because I'm not an expert on this. I'm just trying this pretty much with you. You know, people usually rehearse this stuff and make sure that they got it right because they want to impress you. I'm impressing myself here. This is wow. I don't think I have to try it in wood, and I will say that this little machine is worth his $100 and something bucks. And one last thing. Yeah, she's freaking square. So, we succeeded this time. We'll try to fail again next time, but, you know, pretend. Where is this made anyways? England. There you go. No Chinesium here. Speaking of England, I want to share something with you. I saw this pictures of this old Stanley knives. They have a wooden handle and the name Stanley. They're actually made in England, and I really wanted one. So I started researching, and ironically, they still make these things today that are made in England, that only sold in the UK, and you can buy them at any like hardware store there for like $14 to $19. It is an original stainless steel, and it's made in England. So, and they will not ship anywhere. So I contacted somebody from England on Facebook, and I asked if I can send $100 to them, and if they will purchase one of this and mail it to me. And if they decided to steal my $100, we're welcome to it. So the dude asked me for my address and the information on the knife, which I sent to him, and I never heard back from him. And about 3 weeks later, I get this thing in the mail, and I was kind of blown away. So I went and back on Facebook, and I messaged this guy, and I'm like, "Hey man, thank you, what do I owe you?" And he replied, "Enjoy, cheers." So there you have it. That's the story of this little knife. and I love it, and it tells me that there's still great people out there. We just all have to find each other. Anyways, my coffee's getting cold. I'll catch up with you in the next one. And again, my dad used to say the only people that don't make mistakes are the ones that do nothing.